What's up, guys? Welcome back to another deadline stream. Today, we're talking about Game Week 7. Let me refresh this page because I have my team looking a little bit nicer than from when I last pulled it up on my laptop. You gotta always sort your team out nice and make sure it looks good because that's half of the battle. So as you can see, I got Tomato and Marcel and Rudiger and Alonso split right down the middle. You gotta have them organized and by their teammates. With that said, my team overall has a lot of home matchups and a lot of pretty good fixtures. I think overall, team is well set up for this week. Next week, maybe a little bit of a different story. But the move I did, and I only have 10 minutes till the deadline, but unfortunately I couldn't stream for too long today. Thank you guys for joining in. If you are joining in, it's much appreciated. So, why did I do Trent to Rudiger? Number one reason, I had 2 free transfers, and I didn't have to, but I wanted to use one of them. And if I can't decide, I'm going to always choose immediate points, most likely. So Trent to Rudiger this week is most likely, going to at least give me a chance of getting better points this week because I can play, I need to rearrange my bench here. I can play Rudiger over Gray, and I think that's ideal in this case. Funnily enough, it's actually, even though Rudiger's a center back, it's in a way it's kind of a high upside move because if Chelsea do get a clean sheet, of course, I'm going to get a lot of points between Rudiger and Alonso. Sanchez is somebody I actually thought about selling. He plays Norwich next week, so I'm going to hold on to him. But game week 9, just because they play Man City then Liverpool, that's so bad that I may sell him actually, and I could bring in Raya. Really about any goalkeeper would be better for those two. So that's something I'll probably do at the moment. I mean, I recently wildcarded. I'm pretty happy with a lot of the players I have. So I think selling Sanchez soon makes sense after Norwich. Cats, stop. I hope you guys heard that. That was Donna absolutely yelling. I'll go over every player very briefly, and I'll also look over chat. I'm sure some of you guys may have questions. But Alonso, I want to talk about Alonso. All right, let's not forget. How's it going, Nuclear Atoms and I feel? Let's not forget this man's played 90 minutes every week but game week 1. Honestly, do I think he starts? Yes. I mean, I'm probably saying that overconfidently. I know that, we can't ignore the fact that Chilwell is there and he can always play. But look, Alonso's been playing well. And he's played every Premier League game so far. Until that changes, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I understand if you're wildcarding or something like that, it may be a downside, but I'm happy I got in when I did. I got him at 5.7. He's already 6 million. I'm not even worried, and I mean, I have Gray on the bench anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Alonso's going to start. I'm not too concerned about it. Rudiger, of course, not as much goal threat. I wish Reece James or a Chelsea right wing back was an option, but it just doesn't look like it at the moment. So Rudiger, I felt like, was safer than Christensen. Semedo and Marcel, I know it's going to work out bad. I benched Wolves last week. I benched both of them last week, and they kept a clean sheet, and now I throw them back in. But I have to this week, and of course it only makes sense against Newcastle at home. But, the thing is, they probably will concede. They didn't play great last game, to be honest. Southampton dominated the majority of the game. That was a game that very easily could have ended 0-0 or 1-0, either way, really. But Southampton dominated possession at least. Newcastle have St. Maximin playing very well. He's going to create chances for himself. I'm not super confident in Wolves defensively. Gallagher, I think, is going to be a decent option this week. Leicester at home doesn't look like an amazing fixture, but Leicester are missing, who is it? Ndidi and one other player, I think Evans. And I think with Gallagher's numbers, I mean, especially at its price, as I mentioned all the time, but he's going to be a fine option again this week. Rafinha, of course, against Watford at home is great. Nice goal from Rafinha last week, just a quality player. Getting points for that reason, not really because of the quantity of his chances, but his last 2 goals, pretty good. One was pretty lucky, though. Salah against Man City, of course, he's going to be in the team, but not really a captaincy option. Sarr against Leeds is really a great fixture. I would understand if people captained him, if they really wanted to take a risk, but you can't really trust Watford's attack that much to do that. Sarr, if you're on wildcard, Sarr's an interesting one because these fixtures are really bad from this run here, 11 through 15. I still think I would get him, find a way to bench him against Liverpool, play him against Leeds, Everton, and Southampton, and then maybe sell him from there or figure out a way to bench him. But the way he's playing right now, I would get him and then maybe think about selling him later. But yeah, the fixtures at some point are going to be pretty poor for him. I've got Ronaldo and Lukaku. Ronaldo captain. Look, Everton haven't played many teams that can attack. Everton played Leeds game week 2. They conceded twice. Other than that, they've played Southampton, Brighton, Burnley, Villa, and Norwich. The team with the best attack out of those, I mean, honestly, it's obvious to say Villa because Villa beat Everton 3-0. So, of course, that makes the case for my for my Ronaldo captaincy, but I think that's the case. I think the best attacks they played are Villa and Leeds, and they conceded 2+ goals each time. So not a huge sample size there, but with some unknown comes high upside. And I'm going with Ronaldo over Lukaku. I feel like Southampton have defended reasonably well recently. At the end of the day, though, it's a 50-50 decision. There's no huge way to make a great decision. Either one could easily score brace because they're Lukaku and Ronaldo in pretty good home fixtures. Happy to have both this week. Hopefully me doubling up on them actually works out for the first time since I've wildcarded. I have thought about Ronaldo to Antonio soon. I think that makes sense. Antonio is just very good at his price, even though his fixtures aren't necessarily amazing. All the other forwards, I'm not really loving them, to be honest. I mean, Jimenez, of course, would be the other option. Mape against Norwich just for 1 week next week is something I've thought about. It doesn't really make too much sense, though. Vardy could be decent if he had better fixtures. And I feel like that's really, Bamford's out. So that really makes it about it. There's not a lot going on there. So maybe I'll keep the Ronaldo Lukaku double up. Most people aren't doing that on wildcard, though. It will be interesting to see effective ownerships of Ronaldo and Lukaku's. I would suspect that Ronaldo's is higher, but if everybody chooses to captain Lukaku over Ronaldo, things could be a little bit different. But they will both probably be pretty high. Ronaldo's will probably be 100% or more, I would say, as far as effective ownership goes. But yeah, 3 minutes left. I just wanted to say, still very confident in Alonso. Alonso is the man. Alonso or Ronaldo? That's a good question. I really thought about Alonso captain too, but I'm going to stick with Ronaldo here. I really don't want to overthink it and mess up too much. I already have double defense invested in Chelsea's clean sheet anyway, so I'm just not even gonna really. I haven't even thought about making the comparison. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I could sell myself on Alonso, but for whatever reason, I'm just gonna stick with my gut of Ronaldo here. William played as a wild card. Interesting. Rafinha is worth a -4 hit for Jota. That's a good question. Man, is he worth a -4 hit for Jota? They play Watford this week, and then I think realistically, this could go either way because I think I would do it, to be honest, but that's just me. We don't know about Jota when they come back from international break, how valuable he's going to be, if he's still going to be playing. It could really go either way. It sounds like a move I would make because once you get Rafinha in, you're going to be playing him every week for the next forever. I like those kind of moves. It really simplifies things, but yeah, that could go either way. Demarai Gray could easily end up starting in this team, by the way. It's not necessarily if I'm not confident in Wolves' defense, I guess I should play Gray. But the thing is that Gray against Manchester United, I don't know. I just really think United are going to win today and do pretty well, 3-0, something like that. You think the difficult decision this week was whether to transfer out Trent or put him on the bench? Funny thing about the Trent situation is if you're wild carding, and I know there's a minute left, so this advice means nothing, but if you're wild carding, I think Trent in makes a lot of sense because you can, plan for ways to bench him this week effectively. and maybe also spend the money elsewhere. I've seen some wildcard teams that have Trent, and I like them because, of course, you get Trent for Watford next week, which is very nice. And you can maybe even plan on benching him against United. But it's a rough one because you have a split of good and bad fixtures. Obviously, it's Trent, he's very valuable. You have Chelsea and Wolves and other defenders that are so much cheaper. So there's a lot of things that take into account. I certainly don't mind it either way. But Trent is just so against Watford, like it's going to be such a pain not having him. And I could always get him back as the deadline hits, as it's 6 a.m. here. I could always get Trent back very easily. I could literally just do Rudiger back to Trent if I really wanted to. But I don't know if that money is really going to be best spent with Trent longer term. Trent certainly, I mean, how bad are Trent's fixtures really going to affect him? I'm not sure. I'll have to think about Trent, but considering my free transfer situation, I'm going in with one in the bank. I'll have 2 next week. I'm not too worried about it. I should be able to fix my team up a little bit. So yeah, let's talk about how we think this game week's going to go. So I'll go through every game very briefly now that the deadline's hit. United and Everton. I mean, look, I think United are going to score 2+ goals. Everton probably score 1, to be honest. I know I said 3-0, but I just remembered that United apparently can't defend. So I would say 3-1 United. That's how I see this one going. Burnley and Norwich. Norwich, maybe they get their first clean sheet. Very possible against Burnley, but I mean, Burnley should win, right? It's Norwich. I would expect Burnley to win 1-0 if I really had to choose. Burnley, I mean, their forwards this week are actually an option because of the lack of great forward options. In such a good matchup, they become options for this week. Chelsea versus Southampton. I mean, of course, Chelsea, I'm picking them to win. I'll say 2-0. I'm not sold completely on Chelsea's creativity, like their consistent ability to score a lot of goals versus teams. Man City have lost that ability too, by the way. So we'll see. Leeds versus Watford. I mean, Leeds without Bamford is going to be interesting. The thing is that Watford, with the way Leeds play, I would expect Watford to get some chances. Like, if Leeds are pressing high and committing to the attack a lot, players like King and Sarr could do some damage potentially, but this could also be a game that Leeds just show how much better they are. So I'm really not sure. I'm going to say, I'm actually going to say 1-1. Wolves versus Newcastle. Oh, how I love to predict the Wolves clean sheet. I'm going to say Wolves win. This is probably going to be the dumbest prediction I've ever made, but I'm going to say Wolves win 2-1. Now, why do I say that's a dumb prediction? Because 3 goals in a Wolves game after watching them the past 2 games just seems ridiculous. But at some point, Wolves have to actually score 2 goals and also concede in a game. So I think this game makes sense for that to happen in Newcastle. Look, they're not great defensively, but they could easily sneak a goal. So 2-1 I think is reasonable enough. Brighton and Arsenal. I guess Mbappe is going to score because he's playing Arsenal. That's going to be a good game. Their recent half rivalry that's developed between Brighton and Arsenal as far as players getting mad at each other goes. Arsenal should win. Arsenal looked a lot better. The thing is, obviously, hating on Arsenal is fun and all because they have really bad games. At the moment, that team is definitely Tottenham. They're just playing like garbage. But so they got killed by Man City, they got beat by Chelsea, and they lost to Brentford. Brentford, we now know, are not bad at all. Chelsea, obviously, are good. Man City are good, but Man City are not killing teams like that. But still, Man City had a great game that game, I think. So they beat Norwich, they beat Burnley, they beat Tottenham. All those teams aren't great, though. Like, Norwich and Burnley especially aren't playing amazing at the moment. Only beating Norwich 1-0 doesn't really look great. Even beating Tottenham 3-1 with the way they're playing is almost an average performance. So I'm not completely sold on this Arsenal turnaround. I'm going to say they will have confidence, though. It's going to be an interesting game to see if Arsenal can can keep their winning streak going. But I'm going to say Brighton are able to get a 2. No, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, actually. Crystal Palace versus Leicester. Donna, can you just relax for 1 second? Crystal Palace versus Leicester. I'm going to say I think Crystal Palace win 2-1. Leicester losing some players. Crystal Palace at home. I kind of like this Crystal Palace team. Leicester are prone to having bad games sometimes. Vardy will probably do well, though. I don't know why. I just think Crystal Palace are going to win. Gallagher, I think Gallagher makes a huge difference in the team. They needed somebody like him for a while, I think. Leicester drawing 2-2 versus Burnley last game isn't ideal. Spurs versus Villa. I think Spurs will have a random good game here against Villa. And I mean, how have their fixtures been really that easy? They lost to Chelsea, they lost to Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace loss is a tough one. But other than that, losing 3-1 to Arsenal, okay, that's not good. But just the fact that they lost 3-0 to Chelsea and 3-1 to Arsenal back-to-back, it looks bad, but I don't really think it's that bad. I think they're still capable of good games. And I think they beat Villa 2-0 or 3-0. West Ham and Brentford, again, that's going to be a close game, probably the 1-1 range. I'm going to say West Ham win 2-1. They probably just have a little more quality in attack, to be honest. I'm not completely sold on players like Mbomu and even Tony yet. They haven't completely impressed me, but a lot of Brentford's players have. So I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham. Brentford's missed chances could cost them here. Liverpool, Man City. Who knows? I mean, there's no way to really predict it. I'm going to say, as the game is updating, I'm going to say... Hold on, let me think. How's the game going to go? Man City dominate possession, of course. I would expect. I don't know if that really suits Liverpool. I think Man City will win. Obviously, the score is going to be really hard to predict. I'm going to say Man City win 2-0. Actually, I don't think the game Donna, stop. I don't think the game flow is going to suit Liverpool at all. Thank you guys for stopping by today. I will take a look at Blue's team, sure. Let's go to Twitter. I don't already have it pulled up. Let's see what's going on over on Twitter. Yeah, Donna decided today was one of her days that she was going to be very active again, and I think I'm talking to her. So, yeah. Because, see, Donna doesn't understand the internet. So she thinks because I'm talking and she's the only animal in the room, the only living thing in the room, because Kiefer's not in the room, she thinks I'm literally just talking to her. She thinks on Saturdays at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., that's why I get up and sit in the seat. She's not very smart. She doesn't really put it all together yet. So this is Williams' wild card. Ramsdale's an interesting one. I mean, the price is very great as long as he keeps playing. He's got Tierney, Rudiger, Marcel. Saka is somebody I should probably consider more. I should have mentioned him earlier. Benrahma, I'm still not sold on Benrahma. Grealish, Salah, Jimenez, Antonio, Lukaku, Rafinha, Cancelo, Livramento. And this is one reason I like wildcards at the moment. I feel like you can fit a lot of depth in and not really sacrifice missing out on big hitters. Obviously, he doesn't have Ronaldo. But Jimenez, Antonio, Lukaku just looks very good. I'm not really sure what I would do differently. I would certainly have Rafinha, probably Saka, definitely Cancelo and Rudiger. I would probably have Rudiger and Alonso on wildcard, to be honest, or at least Alonso. I just love Alonso too much. So yeah, maybe that would be it. Maybe I would find a way to do Alonso instead of Tierney and get money elsewhere to do that. Not exactly sure what that would look like. Maybe Benrahma to Gallagher or something like that. That may be what I would do. But in general, that's probably how my wildcard team would look, I think. And I think it looks good. Donna, you need to chill. You're like swatting at me and stuff, and I don't know if you like Ben Rama and you disagreed with what I said about him, but you need to relax because that's not appropriate. Okay? People are watching your behavior. Stop. Don't knock the mic off. That's not good. So here's Blues' team. He did Trent and Ronaldo to Rudiger and Lukaku. Very brave to get rid of Ronaldo before this fixture. Of course, he brings in 2 Chelsea players at the same time. Shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, you can't blame him, but Chelsea's fixture run is just so good for so long. You have to sell Ronaldo at some point. There's never a good time to sell Ronaldo, I suppose. I probably just would have done the moves without the Ronaldo to Lukaku move. In fact, that's exactly what I did. But yeah, overall the team definitely looks good. The thing that's going to hurt him probably is Shaw, Jota, and Salah. I mean, Liverpool could have a good game. And who knows if Greenwood's a good option or not. I remember when I wildcarded, somebody was like, no Greenwood? And I'm like, look, Greenwood's fine, but at his price point, when you can go cheaper to guys like Gallagher or even Ben Rama or, DeMar Gray, I don't know how much of an option Greenwood's going to be. As far as Man United attack goes, I think I'm really only interested in CR7. By the way, Sancho, overrated. Apparently he's not that great, but who knows? I'm sure at some point he'll have a good run of form. But no, you got Sarr and Rafinha in there, so you'll be fine. Those are the only 2 players you need. Sarr, Rafinha, Lukaku, a Chelsea defender. That's all that really matters. Sarr and Rafinha have been absolutely amazing. But shout out to Blues. What a fantastic rank he's at. 10K. He's had an amazing season so far. That's just been really good. Are we getting any team news from... it's yet to come, I suppose. That's still in 20 minutes. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by today. I got one more. Let's go to Nuclear Adams team. As often happens. The thing is, I would have started streaming earlier, but as usual, I feel like I've said this every time recently. I have a pickleball tournament today. At this point, I'm a committed athlete, so yeah, takes up all my time. No way he went Alonso captain. I mean, look, I already have reason enough to root for Alonso, but now I have even more. I really hope this works out. I'm just going to say it. I'm confident Alonso starts, all right? I'm going to make it happen. Alonso's going to start. Like, he's played 90 minutes almost every game so far. I think people are overthinking him not starting, but anyway, I know Chilwell's there, but let's be honest. Still has Torres in the team. That looks so weird. But no, this is good. Christensen and Alonso this week, of course. Team double Chelsea defense. The team looks very similar to mine. You have Pukki in there as well, though, and Antonio. So the forwards are the main difference. Alonso captain. I want to take a look at Alonso's numbers recently. Now the game is passed us by, of course. Let's go to... Can we go to projected points and stats? I want to see how Fantasy Football Fix projects Alonso versus Ronaldo, just for comparative reasons, because sometimes in these kind of games, like in great fixtures where you have somebody that's very okay, projected points. It doesn't have game week 7 yet. I mean, it got rid of game week 7. Oh well, we can go to the OptiStat sandbox and we'll see who's got better expected goal involvement. Or let's look at Alonso's expected goal involvement per 90 minutes. So expected. Expected FPL points. Here we go. Expected FPL points so far this season. Now let's go per 90 minutes. Expected FPL points per 90 minutes. Okay, stop. Noble is at 174 expected FPL points per 90 minutes. Let's go with a minimum of 180 minutes. Okay, let's get rid of all those nonsense players. So Antonio, Calvert-Lewin, Salah, Reece James actually way up there, showing you the high potential of Chelsea defenders. Ronaldo, where is Alonso at? I know he's going to be on the second page. He's got to be. Apparently not. Apparently Alonso doesn't even make the second page. Alonso does make the top of the third page, though, at 5.63 expected FPL points per 90 minutes. And that's expected clean sheets of 0.44 per 90 minutes. I mean, that's pretty good. His expected assist is just lower than a lot of the other fullbacks, I suppose. His total expected goal involvement is around, 0.27 in comparison to, like, people that make page one. Cancelo's got an expected, his expected clean sheets is way higher, actually. So perhaps Alonso's been a little bit lucky with some of his clean sheets so far. But yeah, Alonso further down than I expected. But, I mean, so Ronaldo's at 7.66 so far this season, and Alonso's at 5 something. So that's how they stand at the moment in comparison, but I don't know. The thing is, like, I really don't think Ronaldo's going to be a player that we can go wrong with very much. The thing is, the argument you can make against Ronaldo is he had one good game against Newcastle. Since then, he's got 6 points, then 2 points. So, fair enough if that's the argument. We'll see how it goes. Man United need to be able to create chances for him, but I think they can with the squad they have around him. I just love Alonso so much. Last time I captained him was the season I finished 50th overall, and he hit the inside of the post with a shot on a 1v1. It was one of those hit the inside of the post on one side, and it spun out for a goal kick on the other side of the post. That was, and it was against Newcastle, and then they conceded one, and then they lost 1-0. So maybe that's why I'm not captaining Alonso this week, because that was absolutely devastating. Like, if that would have went in, and if they would have kept that clean sheet like they should have, besides giving up some random 18-yard shot that went in, I probably would have finished like 30th or so instead of 50th. So big differences here, all thanks to Alonso's one miss. That's what happens when you have a great season. You remember what goes wrong. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. I will see you guys next week. Have a good game week.